Oh, there's a beautiful library right above. Knock, knock. Hello. It's so good to see you. I was a ball of nerves on the way up here because you have always been my inspiration. I went to Oak Park because I was really interested in a school that had amazing teachers, great resources, and it has diversity. But when we look at the academic scores, when we look at the discipline scores, it's completely racially predictable. And I guess I'm just like wondering what advice you'd have, because I would love to keep teaching. I really would, and I think that my calling is teaching. I just don't know if I can.
You have to realize that all helping professions are susceptible to burnout. My friends who are nurses want to quit. My friends who are preachers, pastors, want to quit. My friends who are social workers want to quit because the stress of working with human beings and how slow the process can be. How do you keep yourself from taking all of this home with you every single day and keeping you up at night? And that level of investment that all helping professions call for creates an inevitability of burnout.
You basically described exactly one of my biggest issues. And I do. I have nightmares. I don't sleep through the night. I'm constantly at school.
One of the things that I say to my own graduate students is they have to be able to separate out the difference between their work and a job. See, I have a job here at the University of Wisconsin, but if they fire me tomorrow, I still have work. My real blessing is that I ended up with a job that lets me do my work.
I love that. Because it is about the work. But, you know, most of the 200 faculty are white colleagues. So it's also really painful to sit in environments in which we're talking about race and there is a total lack of accountability among some of my colleagues about how their own lived experiences with race is impacting the way that they are showing up in professional development and they're connecting with their students and the curriculum that they're making.
If people don't recognize the problem, then you can't have a conversation with them about it. Because it's like, what's wrong? There's absolutely nothing wrong in their mind.
Oh, that makes so much sense. You know, a great deal of our white students are doing incredibly well, and they're going off to Harvard and Princeton, and they're doing these amazing things.
They don't see the problem as the schools. After all, this group of kids and this group of kids and this group of kids are all doing fine. The presumption that everybody is just fine is incorrect, but let's just say that's what they think. Then obviously it can't be the school. It has to be this group. It's something inherent in that group that must be the problem. Because nobody wants to say, I'm going off somewhere to be unsuccessful. So then you have to give yourself a reason for why you're not successful. And I think it's hard to make that resonate as long as they've got this other group who are constantly doing okay.
So is it just a matter of time before they see it? Is there something I could be doing that will help them?
One of the things I've started doing more of is just having people, show people data and tell them to explain it to me. I want to know why 80% of all suspensions happen to be African Americans. What do you think is going on? Colleague and I, we were in a 3-year study of early literacy. We started the study by asking people, give us a list of those students about whose literacy you are most concerned. We didn't ask the reason, we just said, give us the names. Now, once we saw the names, we saw the pattern, but we didn't say anything. Because we met with these teachers every single month, and every single month we asked about these same kids. How is Jamar doing? And they knew they had to have something to say about Jamar. By the end of the year, Jamar was actually progressing because they had to spend some time with Jamar, where in the past they didn't because nobody asked about Jamar. But it took us from October until June of that first year for a teacher to say, you know what, when I look at this data, what's really clear is we're doing a terrible job with these black boys. Now, we could have told them that in October. But if we told them that, the defenses would have gone up. People would have said, oh, they just coming here to call us racist. No, I need you to identify the problem. Once they were able to say that out loud, in many ways, so many of the problems fell away. By the end of the 3 years, for the first time in that school's history, every single third grader passed the third grade reading test. That never happened. Then everybody said, what did y'all do? What did y'all do? You know, and they thought we had some sort of magic program. We said nothing. What we did was make the teachers really show up for the kids.
I don't always know what to say. I like that I open the space for kids to tell me about their experiences. But when I hear those experiences of what they've heard from other teachers, that could be unprofessional, you know, if I were to speak directly about that particular teacher. But I also want to acknowledge that their experience is speaking to something larger.
So I think it's important for you not to presume that the kids want you to fix it. Maybe they just want to be heard. And maybe the next question from you is, and what would you like to happen as a result of that? Teach them that what they're learning in school, those skills can be translated into things that help solve the problems that they face. You know, rather than just, you know, walking around mad and stewing about it. So I remember going out to one of the schools here, and I just asked the kids, tell me what you like best about being a student at this school. And then tell me what you like least about being a student. Now, the best thing didn't take us very long. But when we got into tell me what you like least, it was shocking. But I never said, oh, I'm going to go get those teachers. And in fact, what I said to them is, I'm going to share this with the teachers, but I won't be sharing anything that's so obvious that points back to you. One of the kids said something, I just love the way you put it. He said, what I don't like about this school is everything black means something. And I said, huh? What are you talking about? And he said, well, you know, if I wear a red shirt as opposed to a blue shirt, that means something. If I wear my hat to this side versus that side, that means something. And I was like, wow. And I met with the teachers, and I said, what I want to share with you are your students' perceptions. I said, don't miss the word perception. I didn't say that this is true, because I don't know. But this is what kids have in their heads about how the school operates. And people operate off of perception. If I perceive you don't like me, then I'm going to behave towards you in a particular way. And I may be wrong, but that's my perception. And our kids, day after day, that's their experience.
For me, who sees the effects of what we're doing to our black and brown children,
Right.
it is such a huge disconnect because I see the urgency. My kids deserve better, and they deserve better right now.
You can't see the evidence really quickly, and you often won't know it until some kid comes up to you years from now. I got a letter from a woman, I don't even know who this woman is. Although we've never met, I wanted to write to you and thank you for your scholarship. I've learned so much from your scholarship about culture, about inequality, about relevance, and about equity. I would not be the educator I am today, nor the person I am today, if not for you sharing your work with the world. I came across an article you wrote in 1996 where you stated, quote, white privilege carries white responsibility to uncover and acknowledge racism. Their non-action and tacit acceptance of the privilege and the advantages they receive are also forms of racism, perhaps the most insidious forms of racism. As a, quote, critical white educator, I am still grappling with the implications of this statement in both my professional and personal life. Wow. I don't know this woman, but I did the work, and somehow the work reached her. That's really the way that we have to think about it. I think one of the challenges that we have being a part of the mainstream culture is about success. That's not our job. We're not called to success. Never have been. We're called to struggle. Joyce King gives me the best metaphor for it. She says, it's like our job is to push the elephant, and the elephant has no inclination to move. And every now and then you get it to move, just a little bit. So the problem is you come back the next day, the elephant has done gone right back to where it was. And you get frustrated because the elephant hasn't moved. But that's not the job. The job is not to get the elephant to move. The job is to push the elephant. Why? Because through pushing the elephant, watch your biceps. What happens to them? You come away so much stronger. So I don't have to win. I just have to be in the struggle. And I've figured out that my part of the struggle happens in a classroom. That's what I do.